All right, y'all, it's time to have a serious discussion on this YouTube channel. So according to the ABC News YouTube channel, comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries are being sued for allegedly sexually exploiting two minors. The plaintiffs involved were 7 years old and 14 years old at the time of the alleged incident. The two alleged victims are the children of Tiffany Haddish's former friend, according to the lawsuit. The court filing alleges that Tiffany Haddish coached Jane Doe on simulating sexual acts for a comedy skit in 2013. A year later, Tiffany Haddish and Aries allegedly offered to film the boy for a reel to pitch to Nickelodeon. So if you don't know what's going on, yesterday it was discovered by large amounts of the American population that Tiffany Haddish and Aries did a skit or sketch several years ago called Through the Eyes of a Pedophile. In the skit, Tiffany Haddish plays a single mother who asks her uncle to watch her small son. Aries plays the uncle. And after Tiffany Haddish's character leaves her home, Aries Spears, while playing the role of the uncle, is seen lusting over and grooming the boy, right? Like he's grooming the boy lustfully, and he's seen like just again lusting over the boy, salivating at the mouth while looking at the boy. Now look, y'all. I saw this sketch yesterday, and out loud I said to myself, why the hell would they think this was okay to make? Out loud I said, why the hell would they think this was all right? What made them think this was okay to produce and send out to the world, and that it would still come across as humorous, but at the same time as a PSA for awareness? I don't get that. And then I thought to myself, why would any parent agree to have their child in this kind of sketch? Because it was very uncomfortable, disturbing, and sickening to watch. Like it was one of them type of sketches. It was very disturbing. So I don't understand why would a parent co-sign their child being in that, and I don't understand what made them think this was okay to make, right? I promise y'all, from the R. Kelly bump and grind music playing, to Aries looking at the little boy staring at his underwear through the holes of a newspaper. He had like holes where his eyes could see through the newspaper, and he's looking at the little boy's, like his bottom. And the boy is in nothing but underwear, right? I think the boy had a shirt on at that point. I don't know, but he had a tank top or whatever. But the boy had underwear on, and Aries is looking at the boy's underwear and all of that, sticking his tongue through the hole of the newspaper where the eyes are supposed to go. Like all of that, from the music to that, all of that, it was like a softcore porn video with a little baby, like a softcore child porn video. It was like very, very weird. And I don't even understand how they got away with putting out that sketch for so long. And it was disturbing. It wasn't funny at all. Not one bit. None of it was funny. They have the child pouring water on Aries while Aries is sitting in the kitchen with his shirt off. And the boy is pouring water on Aries all over Aries and then rubbing on his arm and all this and all of that. And it's just like, come on, fam. It's no way in your mind you thought, okay, we can make this work and this would be funny to people. There's no way that could ever work. Like he rubbing all on Aries' arm while he pouring water all over him. Aries salivating at the mouth while Aries is pouring water all over the boy while the boy is in the bathtub, rubbing on the boy's back and all of that. It's like, bro, wait, come on now. Like, come on, man. Like, and then at one point, Aries jumps into the bathtub with the boy. Now, of course, I'm assuming most of us can assume that the boy had underwear on while he was in the bathtub, but that's besides the point. Like, it's just it's a very uncomfortable, very like disturbing skit to make with a child. Like with a sketch like that, people could become desensitized to pedophilia and grooming just by thinking it's something that you could laugh at. You can desensitize people by thinking it's something to laugh at. Just like the way people have become desensitized to shooting and killing due to a lot of the movies that's out, a lot of the drill music that's being produced. Coming out of my portion of America, Chicago, Illinois, right? People have become desensitized to killings, almost as if like it's expected and it's just like a regular thing, or you have people even like antagonizing killings on YouTube because they have become so desensitized to it. They think it's just a normal way of life in Chicago, but again, people can look at a video like this and become desensitized to pedophilia and child grooming and think that, hey man, it can be funny, and it's not. It's not nothing to laugh at. It's not nothing that you can joke about at all in this type of manner. And then you have people saying that the skit, again, was meant for awareness or it was meant for awareness of pedophilia and the grooming of children. And I'm sure that is what Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish will say, that it was meant for awareness and so on and so forth. However, you can't just put, and what was the quote? You can't just put "watch who you leave your kids with" as a half-second little clip at the end of a video like that and think it's gonna get a message across. You can't put that little "watch who you leave your kids with" like that's gonna be a PSA. After all of that took place, all of the pouring water all over the body and looking at the boy underwear, staring at hard at his underwear, zooming in on the underwear, and then Aries licking his tongue through the holes of the newspaper. You can't do nothing like that and say, "Oh, watch your kids," and think that's gonna come across as awareness. Nah, bruh, that ain't it. That's not gonna do anything for awareness at all. And if they think it's gonna do something, they obviously are just being willfully ignorant. You know what I mean? The video was meant to make a joke out of grooming a child, and it is very exploitive. It is very exploitive. No lie. Like, it was meant to make a joke. It was meant to make a joke out of grooming a child, without question. Because Aries is a type of comedian, you know what I mean, that think a lot of the certain humor. Sometimes dark humor can be funny, right? And then Tiffany Haddish, she was at that point, she was trying to come up. She wasn't big in the comedy world. So she agreed to it just so she could try to like get on and try to get to where she's trying to go. So she agreed to it, and they made the sketch together, right? And again, man, it's just not funny. It's not funny, man. The video humiliated the child and then sexualized the child for laughs on a video, for laughs and views and clicks on YouTube, and that's disgusting. You know what I mean? Like I promise y'all, when I'm watching this video, I'm looking like, this is a way for child molesters to get ideas about producing content about grooming children for laughs, so that it won't be flagged as child pornography. Like, they looking like a predator can look at this and be like, you know, oh man, this is a way to produce content, you know what I mean? And so in a way where it won't be flagged for child pornography. You know what I mean? And again, we've seen a lot of PSAs and movies all throughout time touch on the topic of sexual abuse or child sexual abuse, but more often than not, the abuse is implied and not literally shown. They literally have a little kid in his actual underwear pouring water down a grown man with his shirt off and rubbing on his arm. Like, fam, no. That ain't it. That ain't cool. That's never going to be acceptable. There's nothing to hee ha ha, hee. There's nothing to key about. You know, you can spread awareness without showing a child in their underwear. As an audience, we don't want to see that at all. There's not something that we want to see. It's not something that we think you have to show to be funny at all. And then this is a great way to give real life child molesters a peep show at a child for free. Not even for, I shouldn't say for free. But again, this is a way to give a child molester a peep show at a child, at a baby. Like, nah, bro, this was not okay by a long shot. You know, that video was not done for awareness. It was done for humor. And again, there's nothing funny about pedophilia or child grooming. You know, and yes, skits get done concerning child abuse all the time, but boundaries are kept in place. For example, and I'm not saying this is better than the other, like by miles apart, right? But when Dave Chappelle did the sketch about R. Kelly, right? No children were involved in the shooting of the sketch. No children, nothing were involved in that. They didn't have no child being sexualized, no child in underwear, no child rubbing on R. Kelly, no child, you know, or on Dave Chappelle while he portrayed R. Kelly. They had no children. It was nothing like that. It was just a joke around R. Kelly in the sick ways he could have, right? But it wasn't children involved. It wasn't actual children in their underwear. No children zooming in on the underwear of the child. The child wasn't rubbing on the grown man's arm and all that and having water poured down them. Like, no. That's way too far. That's way too far. They took it way too far, and they didn't have to have a child in this video to prove a message. If they're trying to say that, oh, it's about a PSA, we're trying to make a PSA, you didn't have to have a child in this video to prove that message. They could have had an actual adult, you know what I mean, in the role of acting like a child or something like that. An adult, a grown adult acting like a child or something. If you wanted to try to make it a video for laughs or whatever. You can put a grown person in there, but putting a child in there, I can't approve of that. I can't approve of that at all. I'm a father of 2 children. I have a little boy and a little girl. There's no way I could be like, you know what, that's cool to show, that's cool to present to the public. And even if I wasn't a father, there are plenty of people out there without children that know right from wrong and say, no, man, you can't do that with no babies, man. You can't show the babies in an exploitive way, in an exploitive manner like that. You can't do that. That's not okay. That's disturbing. It's people without children that will see that and say, you know what? Like, that's way too far. Pouring water, like, come on, man. And the boy pouring water all on Aries', come on, that's wild. That's wild, man. And it's just something that I can never say is all right. And I can say, oh, they just trying to be a joke. Like, if I would have saw this a while ago, I'd have been like, nah, fam. This ain't cool. And a lot of people are going to say, well, they're only trying to get Aries' out of here because he attacked Lizzo, so on and so forth, right? And so they made this video come to the forefront of the masses after he was making jokes about Lizzo and people got uptight. That very well may be the case, but the fact remains is this video is still here. Whether it was pushed to the forefront of our minds or into the forefront of our conscience because of the situation with Lizzo, that is null and that is a mute point. It's a mute point. It really is. That doesn't matter because this video is still here nonetheless, and it shouldn't have been made in the first place. They still acted out this scene. Aries' is still acting out these actions in a video with a minor. So whether or not, the whole situation with Lizzo triggered the world to be put on to this video, it doesn't change the fact that the video was made and produced. And it was out there for the world to see. And I mean, it was just something that was conducted in the first place. It shouldn't have been going on. It shouldn't have been made. You know, so again, that's a null and void point. And you know, I don't think that Aries' and Tiffany Haddish are child molesters or groomers or something like. I don't think that. I think that this was just a bad attempt of them trying to be funny and trying to push the lines to be funny because Aries' labels himself as an old school. You know, he wanted them, I'm old school. And we know a lot of old school tactics that people used to do. They don't work in today's time. They were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. There was nothing okay about it. And old school comedians think they have to push the line. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them feel like they have, in order to keep their old school image, they have to push the lines and toe the line in order to be funny. Let's take it to a dark side so it can be funny because that's what us comedians do. That's where the origins come from. Taking humor from dark places and making it funny. No, nothing with children is going to be funny. Nothing with little minors and little babies and you sexualizing a child in that manner is going to be funny. So it is what it is, man. They have to take the hit with that. And of course they can defend themselves and all that, but they had to know this was not going to be okay, man. And again, I don't think they're child molesters, Tiffany Haddish nor Aries', but I think it was a bad attempt at being funny, and a child was